Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pascack Clutch Podcast. I'm Matthew Merlino, along with my co-hosts Sean Barry, Sam Koppelman, Michael McKay, and Alex McKay. We'll start right off with Pascack Hills Sports, and we'll start with the PH football team as they defeated Cliffside Park 26-7 on Friday night to improve to 5-1. Jordan Morrell had another great game with 2 touchdowns. Cole Brennesser with another rushing touchdown, and Jake Polsky and Connor Onikian connected in the first quarter to give the Broncos a 26-7 win. Senior night this Friday, 7 o'clock. It's a pink out as well in support of breast cancer awareness. That's against Bergen Tech. It is the last regular season home game. Check the hills.pascack.org athletics tab, then the schedules tab once the regular season is over to see if we've made the playoffs, and it should be on there if it's a home game or if it's an away game. In boys soccer, the Broncos won their first 2 Bergen Invitational Tournament games, 3-0 against Palisades Park, and then last night 6-1 against St. Joe's in Montvale. That's St. Joe's Catholic School here in Montvale, and the Broncos will play Park Ridge at Park Ridge, and I believe the semifinals of that tournament on Saturday. Volleyball has continued their winning streak up to 14-1, along with a first-round county tournament win in straight sets against Lyndhurst. They play at Ridgefield Park, at Riverdale, and then at Hold to Pan on Saturday in the quarterfinals of the county tournament. That's at 1:30 at Old Tapan. And we'll finish off with girls tennis, who defeated Pascack Valley in the quarterfinals of the state tournament. They're on to the semifinals in Section 1, Group 2 in North Jersey. Ava Patelski, Jillian Fleshman with the singles wins for Hills, and Samantha Lazar and Olivia Gee with the doubles wins for Pascack Hills. Good week for Hills sports. Hope next week's the same. On to college football. We start Red River rivalry in the Cotton Bowl. Number 12 Oklahoma defeating number 3 Texas, who you could say after beating Alabama at the start of the year, were on the road to the college football playoff, but it doesn't look like that anymore. Oklahoma with a 34-30 win in the Red River rivalry, and a big win nonetheless, because now they're in the driver's seat to get to the playoff. You guys are supposed to talk, you know.
Top 5. Top 5.
That was a crazy game.
What a start to the episode.
Yeah, this is very good. Very, very good.
Great start.
Yes.
Okay. So, what?
What I was saying is about the game. That game was just a shield the whole time. Like,
Oh yeah.
Lived up to the old name. They used to call it the Red River Shootout, but I guess that doesn't work anymore. Texas had a chance to win it late. They were up, 30-27 late in the game, and then Oklahoma with a 3-yard touchdown pass. 15 seconds left.
He was wide open. Like, how do you not get that coverage?
Yeah.
Texas,
The
what
whole-
happened?
Like they were talking about it. He's motioning, and he leaves him wide open.
they confused the defense on that play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Towards the end, when I heard that if Oklahoma wins, it would be a better chance for Notre Dame to make the playoffs. I was like, I don't care. I still want Oklahoma to beat Texas. And once they snapped the ball, I believe it was the one receiver or tight end. I think it was a receiver. He was wide open after a cut, and then it was touchdown right down there.
Right in. A pretty even game, 527 total yards for the Longhorns, who lost 486 for Oklahoma. But the big stat, 3 turnovers for Texas, none for Oklahoma. That pretty much got them the win there.
Is there a win streak going on right now?
Well, Oklahoma's undefeated, and if they continue it and they win the Big 12, they should probably make the playoffs.
In the rivalry.
They most likely
In
will
the
make the
rivalry,
playoffs.
I'm not sure. I'll look that up.
No, it was like
It was tied, right?
it was tied
Yeah.
33-3.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm not sure about the streak,
Oh.
because the streak may be different, but Oklahoma now has one more win
Yeah.
than Texas.
Yeah.
It was added like this was their 70th matchup, I think.
Yeah,
it was
it was.
33-3. So I remember I looked and it was.
I saw something online. Yeah.
It said that they were pretty much dead even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the current win streak is Oklahoma, yes, at just 1. So,
Nice.
as you guys said. Over in the Pacific 12, we had number 9 USC surviving a scare against 3-3 Arizona. They won in triple overtime, 43-41. Caleb Williams getting the 2-point conversion to score the win for USC, and they keep their playoff hopes alive, although I think they did drop down a few spots in the rankings because of a loss to a now just 500 team. And USC plays Notre Dame this weekend in what could be a very pivotal game for the Trojans.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Notre Dame, we had the Irish going up against number 25 Louisville, and the playoff hopes for Notre Dame are pretty much over.
That was terrible.
33-20, the final score. A terrible game. Not, well, kind of from Sam Hartman. 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 254 yards, and Plummer from Louisville. That's not Jake Plummer. I don't think so. It's Jack Plummer. 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 17 for 24. Pretty close game, but Louisville pulled away at the end. It was 17-13 end of the third quarter, but Louisville came away with it at the end of the game. 33-20 the final there, and our second to last game that we'll take a look at. Number 11 Alabama, now 5-1, undefeated in the conference after playing unranked Texas A&M in Aggie land, I guess. 26-20 the final there, and Saban and Alabama on their way to Atlanta as of right now. Still have LSU and still have Auburn to play in those 2 big rivalry games. We'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm. So, Bama's undefeated in the conference right now, but they won't once they play Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn. They could lose 2 or 1 of those matchups. And then
Who's this week?
The Alabama game was pretty
Bama
close.
plays Arkansas this week.
Yeah, so Bama and Arkansas, they play. And then another big SEC game this weekend is A&M versus Tennessee. And then later will be the Tiger War, Auburn versus LSU.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bama game last week, it was pretty close going into halftime. I mean, it was
Texas A&M stayed in the game for a good time.
It was 17-10 for A&M going into halftime, but they fell apart, giving up 16 points in the second half, including which I'm seeing is I think a safety. Yeah, I think they got a safety in the fourth quarter.
Either a safety or a pick 2.
Yeah, no, it was a safety.
Yeah. Second straight safety for Alabama, I think. I think they had one in their previous game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was a sack from Max Johnson for -7 yards in the end zone. On a very short 2-play drive. So.
And one last game to go over. Miami coming in number 17, playing unranked and now 3-3 Georgia Tech. Miami, what happened, guys?
What?
Come on.
Why would
Why wouldn't you kneel?
And now Miami, they need to get a big win against North Carolina this weekend. That's going to be 7:30
and
ABC.
that was their first conference game, and they just lost in the conference.
And then we have Washington and Oregon this weekend.
Yes, we'll go over those games
and then,
when we get there.
even though that people might not care about this game, Iowa versus Wisconsin, this game decides who's already going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten. Because right now, Wisconsin's winning the Big Ten West, and Iowa's number 2. So whoever wins that game and wins out, they're going to Indianapolis for Big Ten championship.
Well, it doesn't really matter because they're still going to get clobbered by Michigan, Ohio State.
I know,
Penn State. But
yes,
very big game. Iowa at Wisconsin, 4:00 on Fox this coming Saturday.
Yeah, going back to the Miami game with the Georgia Tech. I mean, you're up by 4 points, I believe it was, or it might have been 3 or something. But you were up going with 30 seconds left in the game, and then you decide to run the ball, even though Georgia Tech, I believe at the time, only had 1 timeout, and there was less than a minute on the clock. I mean, if you kneel the ball, Georgia Tech takes a timeout, kneel the ball again, let the time run out, you win. But he fumbled the ball, and then they threw a Hail Mary.
Yep.
And for Florida,
they got it.
And for Florida State,
with a second left,
they had Florida State. They had another big dominant win against Virginia Tech, and this weekend they will play home at 12:00 p.m. on ABC, and they face Syracuse.
So Florida State really on the driver's seat for the ACC.
As of right now.
As of right now.
As of
Still
right now.
haven't played.
They still have to play Duke.
Still have to play Duke, North Carolina, and
yeah.
Miami. So we'll just have to wait and
ACC
see what
surprisingly
happens
somewhat
there.
good this
ACC
year.
is a very competitive conference.
Yeah, going back, but yeah, the Miami game, they had a 97.9% chance to win at the 33-second mark, and then fumble, and then they went. Then it went from 97.9% win to 0 with Georgia Tech winning.
Yep.
When there's momentum shift, the game can really take a turn.
Yeah. One more last thing about Texas Oklahoma. Even though Oklahoma did beat them, we could still have a possibility of the Big 12 championship to beat Texas and Oklahoma. So we could have another matchup of that.
No divisions in the Big 12, so it's just the top two
that would
in
be
the
a
conference.
See, like here's the thing though. Like if Oklahoma wins out, and Texas wins out, and let's say like Texas beats them in Oklahoma, like are they gonna like put like two Big 12 teams in the playoff, or they're just?
I don't think so.
Right.
It'll be the Big 12
Say
champion.
Say hypothetically that does become the Big 12 championship. Say both teams are in there.
That's probably the best conference championship game.
Yes.
Who do you want winning?
I don't. I'm just looking forward to a good game.
Yeah. I couldn't care less who wins. I just want a good game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the AP poll now as we wrap up our college football segment. Georgia, Michigan stay at 1 and 2. Texas, with the loss, goes down from number 3 to number 9, meaning Ohio State moves up to number 3, and Florida State moves back into the top 4. Oklahoma up to the top 5 in 5th. Penn State, Washington, and Oregon all stay at 6, 7, and 8. Then you got Texas moving down. USC moves down to 10 after their close win against Arizona. Remember, Arizona only 3 and 3, and it's a Pac-12 opponent who the playoff committees don't really care about. Alabama stays at 11. North Carolina up 2 to number 12. Ole Miss up 3 to number 13. Louisville up 11 points, up 11 spaces, the biggest mover in the poll this week, up to number 14. Notre Dame, the biggest loser in the poll this week, down to number 21, losing 11 spots.
Yeah.
And Oregon State, Utah, Duke up to UCLA, up from non-ranking to number 18 this week. Washington State, Tennessee, LSU, Kansas, Kentucky, and Miami round out the AP Top 25. Our game of the week, which we'll have our picks for in just a moment, in college football this, I believe, week 7 or week 8. It is number 8 Oregon versus number 7 Washington, 3:30 on ABC. Week 7, Thank you, Sean. That is the game of the week for us, and a big game in the Pac-12. And the Pac-12, I think, has now, 5 ranked teams for a conference that won't exist next year.
Yep.
Wow.
Very impressive and a nice last stand. 5 or 6 ranked teams. And you got Colorado.
This is probably like Pac-12's best year ever, too.
Yes, and it's their last year ever. Very unfortunate. We'll have our picks for that game in just a moment. USC Notre Dame, number 10 versus number 21 coming up. Big game for the Trojans. Notre Dame looking to play playoff spoiler at 7:30 Saturday on NBC. Also 7:30 Saturday on ABC. 4-1 Miami down to number 25 this week after their loss to Georgia Tech. Plays number 12 North Carolina in a big ACC game. If North Carolina wins, they should be on the big road. They still have to play Florida State and Louisville to see who makes it in, as well as Duke, if Duke can get there. So far, Louisville and Florida State both tied at 3 conference wins, North Carolina at 2, and Duke at 1. All of those teams undefeated in the conference. Speaking of Duke, they play unranked NC State as number 17, 8 p.m. on the ACC network. And that's about it. We have UCLA at number 18 playing Oregon State at number 15, 8 o'clock on Fox. That rounds out Saturday. Gentlemen, time for your picks. Oregon versus Washington, number 8 versus number 7. It should be a very close game. Oregon favored by just by 54.8% to Washington's 45.2%, but the odds makers like Washington at home -3, which means would be an even game if it were at neutral site. Let's go ahead and start with Sean.
Give me the Ducks.
All right. Sean with the
I'll
quick
second
pick
that.
to Oregon.
Third.
Sam with Oregon. Michael with Oregon. Alex.
I do this every week. It got to be different. I'm going to go Washington.
And he may win out. I'm going to go Oregon. Established program. Should get the dub on Saturday. We'll find out. Alex will probably be right. Hopefully not.
I think I'm
Knock on wood.
Wait, who was our pick for last week's?
It was Oklahoma, Texas.
Let me go back. It
Oh,
was
oh,
Oklahoma,
yeah.
Texas.
You mean I expect Oklahoma?
And Sean and Alex were correct. They
Yeah.
picked Oklahoma. So
I think starting this week, starting last week, we should start keeping track of
yeah,
the correct.
We should start doing
things.
records, and
I'll
whoever
do
has the
that.
best
I'll
record.
do that.
Yeah.
I'll make a space on the
So I
document
guess
we have
me and
here.
Sean are both.
So
1-0.
Sean's Oregon.
I'm Oregon.
I'm Oregon. Michael's Oregon. Sam's Oregon. And
Alex is Washington.
When
Alex
is Oregon wearing those Donald Duck throwback jerseys?
Donald Duck
the
throwback.
Donald Duck throwbacks. Yes.
The Oregon mascot better be dressed as Donald Duck, or I'm gonna be upset.
He's
Yeah.
not gonna be dressed.
Oregon Ducks have the best mascot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Donald Duck.
Oh yeah.
Do not mess with Donald Duck.
The GOAT.
And let's go to playoff baseball now because
Oh yeah.
we've got one thing to say to the Baltimore Orioles.
What
happened?
happened?
101 wins on the year. You come into the playoffs as the 1 seed in the American League, and you get swept by the Texas Rangers without Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer, their 2 prize signings over the year.
Yep.
Baltimore, Lord God.
How can
And
you
all
mess
of
that up?
Baltimore fans leave. I know the city's a crap hole. Just leave the city, leave the town, come to New York. I know we're
And the
sucked right
Ravens
now.
can barely
And
win
the Ravens
too.
can
They lost to
barely win
Pittsburgh.
with Lamar. They lost to Pittsburgh. It's incredible.
Mhm.
How?
Baltimore poverty city in sports.
How is this possible?
Honestly. And when the Ravens won 14-2 in 2019-2020,
And they lost,
they lost to the
they
Titans.
lost to the
Ryan
Titans in the
Tannehill, bro.
divisional
Yeah.
round.
like,
I mean, Baltimore is the,
honestly.
Baltimore
So
is-
Texas.
Well, didn't Baltimore make the playoffs last year, and then they
No, last year.
No, they
the
did, but they
no,
lost
they
to the Bengals in the wild card.
yeah,
Yeah.
with that goal
With,
line hit
with
the goal line.
The Ravens
he
even had
fumbled.
Lamar
He fumbled.
either.
It wasn't even with Lamar because
Yeah, it
Lamar
was
was out.
Tyler Huntley.
He fumbled at the goal line. They tried to do. I think it was a tush push.
Wait, could
I
they
think
win
they
that
tried
game
to
if
do
they
it.
scored?
It was something
he
like
jumped,
oh, he
lost
jumped
the ball,
over,
and Trey
lost the
Anderson
ball,
ran it.
and they ran it
Wait,
back and
if
won.
he scored, would have they won, the Ravens?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
I think so.
They saw
But the 3 wins for Texas.
sold on ya
3-2
boy.
game 1 again in Baltimore. 11-8 game 2 in Baltimore, and then 7-1 in game 3 in Texas.
Wait, are
So
we
the
gonna
Rangers
happen?
go
Wait,
on.
are we gonna happen? What happened to Great Britain?
That's a bit of an older reference.
I'm joking.
Yes, I believe Sean's learning about the American Revolution for the first time, so
No,
he's.
I've learned it from second grade, man.
I understand. But Texas goes on to the ALCS, and Houston now looking to go on to the ALCS.
Yeah.
They lead Minnesota
Yeah,
2-1.
again, as
you
per
never
Game
know.
4
I
tonight,
mean,
FS1.
You never know. The Twins have won one of the games, and
And it's in Minnesota.
that is true. They
Carlos
have-
Correa could go off.
Yeah.
You could.
Also, may I add, the Rangers are still undefeated in the postseason.
Rangers are
They're
winning the World
5-0.
Series. Mark
Yeah.
my word.
Yeah, the Rangers somehow
Write
have
that
won
down.
every
You hear that,
game.
Sam?
Yep, Rangers.
I'll
won
put it on the
World
page.
Series.
If
Oh.
the Rangers
And,
win the
um,
World Series,
The
that's
Rangers are
there's
winning
no
the World
way.
Series, bro.
They'll
They got-
probably make it, but they won't.
No, they got
it'll,
the
it'll be
Hendricks in it,
Arizona,
bro.
Texas World Series.
They got
They're done.
Marcus
Yeah.
Semien, Adolis Garcia.
I know, but still,
Corey
it's
Seager.
Texas.
I hope
It's the
I hope,
Rangers.
I hope that the Phillies
if the
win this year.
Rangers win by
That would be
taking
pretty funny, but we'll have to
I
see.
hope they win this year.
if the Rangers win by taking 2 Mets starting pitchers, that's just sad on the Mets.
Well,
It would be very
also,
funny.
wait, hold up. How the Diamondbacks are up 2 against the damn Dodgers.
We're
damn.
gonna talk about that. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that. But
Alright.
I want to talk about if Houston wins tonight and goes to the ALCS. Scherzer could come back. They said he's going to pitch a simulated game in practice today, and if all goes well, they said he'll play in the ALCS. That means we could have the 2 Mets pitchers from the start of the year, Scherzer and Verlander, playing for separate teams going up against each other in the ALCS.
That's possible no hitter. That's over there.
Double no hitter.
Oh my.
Yeah, we'll see. No,
20
they'll
inning.
both give up 11 runs if they
1-0 in the 15th
20
inning.
They'll give up 10 runs each as a show of respect to the Mets this past
It'll be
year.
the first game they go until 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
20 inning, first ever 6-hour game in postseason history.
No, what do you
Yep.
mean? We're going the full 24 hours.
And in the National League, we have 2 Game 3s today. Atlanta plays Philadelphia back in the electric atmosphere of Citizens Bank Park in South Philly. Series is
Let's
tied at
go.
1-1. The Braves play the Phillies today. It's Game 3 tonight. And later tonight, it's the Dodgers against the Diamondbacks. Arizona with the chance to sweep. What a story that would be for the Diamondbacks. With no real stars, I would say, looking to sweep things. In the NLDS, Arizona, Atlanta, Philadelphia, all gunning for a shot at the NLCS. But watch the Dodgers come back. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's the Dodgers.
It's the
They're
Dodgers.
gonna win 3 straight.
And
Get the D-backs so upset.
and in everybody's favorite sport, the National Football League.
Yeah.
We'll start on Thursday night. Let's pay our respects to the legend Dick Butkus, passing away on Thursday. We hope his family's doing well. Probably not watching this, but if you're listening, we're very sorry. We send our condolences for the legend Dick Butkus. And the Bears sent their condolences by finally winning a game on Thursday Night
For
Football.
the first time since Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yes.
In 2022.
Who
In
cares about
October of
X? It's
2022.
only gonna be Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't have
Fields
to do
and
with
Moore
us.
went off
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that game.
Well, DJ Moore had
Uh-huh.
25 points at the end of the first quarter for me in fantasy.
He both showed us
230
40
yards on
points.
8 receptions.
The
and 3
week I
touchdowns.
start Justin Fields and I play Matt, who
Yep.
has DJ Moore,
Yep.
and he puts up 41 points
But
to
it
my
didn't matter.
35.
We'll get to that story.
Bozo!
because,
Yeah. DJ Moore, he had 8 receptions. He had 19 going into the game for the first 4 weeks. And he had about 300 yards total.
Yeah.
So he pretty much just doubled the amount of yards that he's had in the first 4 games in 1 game.
Yeah, incredible win for Chicago. Finally winning against Washington and knocking a lot of people out of their survivor
Yeah.
pools.
Washington.
I'm sure. 40-20.
What
the final
happened?
score. Not really a what
Not
happened, though.
really.
No,
Not really.
I think what Michael's trying to get to is Washington was 2-0 and now they're 2-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 2-0.
They're just slipping.
Well,
They're doing
Acro-
Washington.
Across the pond in London, the de facto home team Jaguars defeated the Bills in a,
The Bills are
I think, an
mess.
upset.
The-
Because the Bills, they lost first week,
They lost
then
to
they
New
went on a
York.
tear, and now they lose.
You already
in
know
London,
they're gonna
25-20.
absolutely demolish the Giants this
Yeah.
week.
Watch
bro.
on Sunday
Watch
Night
them
Football.
lose.
Diggs is
It's
gonna give
over.
me Stephon Diggs is gonna give me 50 fantasy points.
It's
bro.
going to be over.
Watch Josh Allen throw 4 picks.
But
Yep.
imagine if the Giants win.
That would be funny. Anthony Richardson, we want to talk about. He's on IR for, I believe, a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Was it a torn labrum or a
He
shoulder
said something
injury?
about a shoulder.
Okay, shoulder injury.
Shoulder.
I
think
saw
it's
a torn labrum
Sean-
for somebody.
Sean hyping him up, and he's only played 2-3 games.
But he's
Because
balled
when he
out of
has
those 2 or 3
played,
games.
he's been balling out.
It's
and he's
kind- it's
played
kind of
good.
like
He's
Andrew
been playing
Luck.
good. He's been
Exactly.
playing
It's
good.
kind of like
he
Andrew
gave me
Luck those
30
10 years
fantasy
ago.
points, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like-
like Andrew Luck those few years ago when he played, he
Yeah.
did very well.
Who's
But
your
he
QB
hasn't been playing that much.
fantasy football?
Justin Fields.
No more
Exactly.
talking. Anyways,
Stop talking.
Miami beating the
'Cause there's
Giants.
no one available.
It's my fault you drafted the bad team.
Yeah, Miami beating the
That's skill
Giants.
issue.
A final score 31-20. Miami back on track.
Tyreek
after-
Hill went off of it.
Tyreek Hill
Tyreek
going
Hill is a
off.
cheat code in fantasy,
But
bro.
Devon,
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, I believe since he had over 175 receiving yards. That made it his 10th career 175 plus receiving yard game, which is more than like.
Hey,
It's more than like, I believe 5 different teams in NFL history.
You do have to
Awesome
give some
player.
credit to the Giants. Even though the Dolphins did beat us, guess what? We still got 2 interceptions. And one of them was a pick six.
yeah, it was very surprising that you actually put points on the board. Of course,
You put a lot more than I thought. I
Of
thought it was
course,
gonna be
the
like-
only offensive points you scored were field goals from Graham Gano.
Yep.
And the only touchdown you scored was
honestly, if you want
102-yard interception return.
honestly,
from
if you,
Pinnock.
if you want a kicker, and in fantasy football, go get the Giants kicker. He's
Graham
been
Gano, 49 yards, 37 yards, and 51 yards.
He's the only one
He's on
putting
a
up
tear.
points for the
Yeah.
Giants.
Doing very well because the Giants can't score an offensive touchdown. I do want to say, just announced by Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, I saw it come up, Devon Achane officially on IR, out
Oh,
at
really?
least 4 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, a
so,
lot of
big
them.
loss for
so Raheem
Miami.
Mostert's gonna be back.
that's
When
huge.
he-
He's been putting up like 20
Yes.
fantasy points.
11
Saw
carries,
Raheem Mostert.
151 yards, and 1 touchdown
With-
against the Giants.
Yeah, with one of his first carries of the game being, I believe it was a 76-yard rushing
Yes,
touchdown.
it was.
Now, but let's be honest. It's over. Do you know why? The Dolphins have the chosen one.
Well,
Who's that?
Robbie Chosen.
Oh, yeah.
when
And they've
does
got Mike White, too. It's over.
I know.
when does Jeff Wilson come back?
I'm not sure.
So I
He's
believe he
supposed to
comes
come-
back
no,
soon.
He's
so
supposed to come
Oh.
back mid-season.
Apparently, there's also been rumors when Saquon Barkley does come back for the Giants. Don't be surprised if the Giants are trying to trade him.
Yeah, I
Away.
wouldn't be surprised.
Watch him like get traded to like a
Now watch
really
him
bad
trade.
team.
What? No,
watch him get traded to Cleveland
No,
for the season.
watch him get traded to the Dolphins or like the Rams.
I'm honestly surprised that no one has made like any big trades yet. Like really big
Yeah,
trades.
well, we haven't gotten to the trade
Well,
deadline.
now that
Usually
that's
the
true.
trade deadline isn't that
It's
big.
week 8 usually.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
well, now
more-
that you said it, it's gonna be a bunch
The
of
trade
big
deadline-
trades.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
low-key, the
last
Eagles
year,
can make
last
a
year
move
the
for
trade
Barkley.
deadline went
The
like
big
NBA crazy.
When you have
Oh yeah, it
But
was.
You don't
usually
really
it
need
doesn't.
Barkley.
When
I
you
know,
have-
but like,
And also, he's so injury ridden. Like
Yeah.
over the next couple of years, it's just not a good
not
investment.
worth it.
Yeah,
Not
he's
you
worth it.
know,
He's gonna be a bad.
most underrated running back in this league, Kyron Williams, the rookie from
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
No one's
Yeah.
homecoming. No
and
one's.
how about to go with them, Puka Nakua?
Yep. Speaking of the Rams, they lost 23-14 against the Eagles. Eagles up to 5-0. Williams 13 carries, 53 yards. Cooper Kupp the receiving leader instead of
Yeah,
Puka Nakua
and
with 118.
Cooper Kupp doing Cooper Kupp things on his first drive back? He went 5 for 6 with I believe 53 receiving yards.
Yeah, Puka Nakua did score one of the 2 Rams touchdowns there, a 22-yard pass from Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe, as he pulls it up, let's go to Sam's stat because he's got
Yep.
something to say about
Crazy
Jalen Hurts.
stat. So Jalen Hurts is 22-1, excluding like the Super
Postseason.
Bowl and the
Mhm.
playoffs. He's in all regular season. He's 22-1 in his last 23 games. And the only other quarterbacks to do this since 1950 are Tom Brady twice, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, and Jim McMahon.
Wow.
Very interesting. Very interesting stat. The Eagles obviously have a generational talent.
How about
Brock Purdy.
the Detroit Lions 4-1?
Yes,
Look, in
very
my-
big win for the Lions.
Brock
Look,
Purdy.
honestly, I don't see if we don't win the Super Bowl in the next like 2-3 years that he's gonna end up staying. He's gonna end up going somewhere else.
He will go.
The
somewhere
Lions
else.
are winning the NFC.
But I know
Oh.
he's really happy
Without a
with
doubt.
being in
Uh-huh.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I can also see him staying.
It's a very competitive team. I don't think you're making the Super Bowl this year, but you have to make at least the NFC Championship.
Oh, absolutely. I think
Brock
I think that we can. I think that we're absolutely making the playoffs this year.
Oh, of course. You're winning the
With-
division.
yeah,
Okay.
easily. I
Have you seen the
think that we need one kind of big like major sign over the off season and we'll be good.
No, do you know who's gonna join those 5 guys? Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
He's now 9-0 in his regular season career, and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It doesn't look like he's ending that streak anytime soon.
And another win over the
I
Cowboys.
mean, what's the
Yeah.
49ers schedule?
They are going. They have a pretty easy schedule overall. I mean,
That's terrible
they're playing some
because
pretty
they were
hard
really
teams,
good
but-
last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can see becoming a problem is Bengals, Niners, Niners, Eagles,
Yeah, Niners Eagles would be really good.
Yeah.
and Niners, Rams. That's all I can really see becoming a problem.
Okay. Speaking also of the Detroit Lions, this is going to be the first time that they could win a Thanksgiving game since
Oh,
the
yeah.
2015-16 season when they beat Mark Sanchez and the Eagles.
And the
Yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez was on the Eagles.
Well, in 15 and 16
I don't
season.
remember that.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
made our picks with Mrs.
I'm pretty sure he
Oh,
was.
right.
I thought.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was like the backup
That
or
was
something.
very good.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Sanchez, going back to his the
Butt
team that he's
fumble.
known for, the New York Jets. I want to talk about the Jets because we finally won a game, 2-3 now, with a 31-21 win over the Broncos. You two are welcome.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
thank
let's
you.
go.
Yeah, and Sean Payton, please shut up. No more talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like actually, stop.
But if you're Sean
more
Payton,
talking.
like just quit at this
Yeah,
point.
you're worse than Hackett at this point.
Sean Payton should
Your
have stayed
team
in
is
retirement.
1-4,
Yeah.
bro.
Just like-
Nathaniel Hackett was bad, but he at least didn't give up 70 points in a single game, and been just
And they blew a lead to Washington.
yeah. How do you
And they
blow a
blew-
lead to Washington?
Oh,
And
and
they're
then
all-
also Mark Davis was spotted
yes.
doing
Yes.
slot machines in the airport.
Yes, very funny.
So like, get your entire franchise in order, like please.
That's the Raiders
Bro.
owner.
Oh wait.
Yeah, Mark Davis is Raiders.
No more talking from Sam for the rest of this episode.
Bro,
I want to say one more thing before Sean talks. Elijah Vera Tucker, big loss for the Jets' offensive line. Not that we had any in the first place. He's out for the year with a torn Achilles, so there goes another.
The Broncos are the only win that they have in the season was a crazy comeback, which if they didn't win that game, they'd be winless alongside the Panthers.
0-5.
The Patriots will never be good without Brady, and the Broncos will never be good without Peyton Manning.
Oh,
Yeah,
listen,
And John Elway.
Yeah, I mean, how like.
Hey,
How
look,
do you-
the Broncos are just so bad.
They're just
No,
Like,
terrible.
it's not that.
Honestly.
Like for the Patriots, how do you get outscored 72-3 in two
Oh,
straight
Jake
games?
Elliott has now outscored two teams. He's outscored the Patriots and he's outscored the Giants.
Yep,
Nice.
very, very nice.
He's- Yeah, he's going down the list.
Few more games to talk about. Kansas City, with a lot of help from the referees. If you've seen the last play, you know what we're talking about. They win 27-20.
That
It's
was so
just-
stupid.
It's
what
just incredibly stupid. The
I
help
mean,
that
you
they
didn't
get.
just have rough.
And Taylor Swift wasn't even there,
You
so
didn't
it doesn't matter.
Taylor Swift ain't there, and guess what happens? Travis Kelce gets hurt on a non-contact injury.
Yeah, that Pfizer shot. Those Pfizer commercials aren't working
The,
out too well for him.
the rookie wide receiver for Minnesota, Addison,
Jordan Addison.
he balled out in that
Yes,
game.
he
Yeah,
did.
but
Yeah.
oh my god, that last
And-
play. Not
yeah.
only was there rough in the passer, but there's also a DPI with holding Jordan Addison in the end zone. He was already pushing him to the sideline, away from the ball, and then on top of that, he then takes off his helmet while on the field and talks to the ref.
Yeah, and
He
they
got-
pick up all the flags.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they pick up all the
You know what
flags.
they were talking about that, and the ref literally said to the player, he said, "Put your helmet back on," and like that shouldn't have automatically been the flag.
Automatically unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, but then he
Automatically
warned
15
him,
yards.
and then
Because
they,
was it last year when not Robbie Anderson? It was someone
Might have
from the
been Robbie Anderson.
It was
DJ
Panthers Falcons.
It was DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. DJ Moore scored the game.
oh yeah,
winner,
and then he took his
supposedly.
helmet off,
And he took off his helmet.
and then they missed the field goal.
PJ Walker.
And
made
did
that
he?
crazy
Didn't they
pass.
also get
They
flagged?
lost too in overtime.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
lost 30.
I believe they got flagged, which pushed them
Yeah,
back.
and then they missed the field goal.
it. And
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, Niners now in the hot seat for the NFC with a 42-10 win over Dallas. Dallas not doing so hot, and the
Dallas
Raiders.
Dallas.
They got
Yeah,
Raiders.
bad.
They got outscored by their baseball team.
I know, it's incredible. It's incredible.
now
Yeah.
it's time for me to rant about the
Well,
Raiders
make
again.
it quick. We've only got about 3 minutes.
Okay.
What do you
so-
mean, right? Aren't you happy?
Yes, I'm happy, but in 5 weeks now,
Oh boy.
Josh McDaniels has failed to score at least 20 points, and you're only 2-3.
There's other
Now you're
teams
going
that-
up against Chicago, which you should be
Should
able
win,
to put
but
up
it's the Raiders,
points.
so
There's several of the teams.
You go
that-
up.
you owe
Patriots,
Patriots,
Chicago.
Bears, Lions.
Yeah,
Those
Patriots,
could be
Bears. You
two
should be able to
wins.
score.
Michael,
But
they're
then-
saying that overall, by week 10, we should be 7-3 if we win all the games.
Okay, but
Yeah,
this is
sure.
Josh
Will we win
McDaniels
over-
we're
Sure,
talking
buddy.
about.
Michael,
Yeah,
you're
but
You're
gonna-
gonna, you're gonna
Yeah,
lose.
buddy.
You're gonna lose to New England and
Yeah.
Chicago somehow.
Bill thinks the Raiders are a sneaky
No, you're
team
gonna
and win
lose
the
to
Super Bowl.
Chicago
Bowl.
just
According
because
to
you're
all
bum
the-
ass franchise.
cause.
Justin Fields is gonna drop a 50 bomb.
The
bro.
only-
No, honestly.
All right.
The only reason why the Patriots lost to the Raiders last year was because one, Jacoby Myers sold the game,
Michael.
and the Raiders had Chandler Jones, who won them the game. But now the Raiders have Jacoby Myers, and Chandler Jones is out of the league.
Yeah, but okay. But yeah, you going back to the 7-3 record thing. That was the announcer saying that. Will they go 7-3? No.
Absolutely
They're
not.
probably, if
Absolutely not.
anything, they're going
Like 5 and
they're
6,
going-
something like that.
5-5, maybe 6-4.
No
No.
real good games coming up this week.
And next week, I mean-
Baltimore, Tennessee, 9:30 a.m. in London's pretty good, 3-2 versus 2-3. But our game of the week has to be Monday night. Cowboys play the Chargers. Should be an all right game. Let's make the picks quickly. Last week we all took San Francisco, so good on us. Dallas versus Chargers. Sam, start with you.
Chargers.
Okay, Michael.
Dallas Chargers, Dallas, because we want the Chargers to lose.
There.
Although I
uh,
do want Dallas's defense to do well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want them to do
I'm
well.
gonna go Dallas because I want them to lose, but I want Herbert to have an amazing game because he's on my fantasy team.
And Sean.
I'm gonna go with Dallas because I think after that tough loss, they need to win back. So yeah.
I'm going with Dallas. Chargers always choke. That's just what happens. And
And the Chargers still have a lot of guys injured for them.
we're gonna talk more. We're gonna talk more about this on Friday because we have a special Friday episode coming up for you with two guests. It'll be all about the National Hockey League, who start their season now. Sam, I know you want to play something. Go ahead and do it. Make it quick. And we'll end it by talking about Formula One. Max Verstappen, 3 straight world championships. Congrats to him winning in Qatar and winning it on a
Hamilton
Saturday.
hasn't won since 2021.
Very funny, very funny. Hockey will be talked about on Friday. The NHL will have back again Mr. Camanto and Mr. Kirkby. Should be a great episode. Look forward to that.
Piastri got his first win.
And Piastri got his first win in the sprint. So, with that, for Alex McKay, Michael McKay, Sean Barry, and Sam Koppelman, I'm Matthew Merlino. Thank you for joining us on the Pascack Clutch Podcast, and we'll see you Friday.